Eric, I'm going to go ahead and make you a co-host.
Okay.
Last year at this time, and I will wait till I'm unfrozen. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Are we good? Yeah? Can you hear me?
we hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Last year at this time, it's coming back. Coming back. I'd go downstairs, but my house cleaners are here. Kid, we're good?
We're good.
Okay, about every 20 minutes I get a freeze glitch. But last year at this time, um, we were at convention and Chrissy Bellison was showing me her Teamzy. And she was telling me how incredible it was, about how she just opens this up every single day. And her goals all of last year was to be consistent with this CRM program. And I was like, I was blown away by it. And she was like, all I have to do is close my circles. And it was just, so organized and so efficient. And I got caught up in the conference and came home and just didn't follow up on it. And I was on Power Hour with Christy last Monday, and she had mentioned it again. And I was like, oh, she's still using it a year later. And that speaks a lot to me because things come in and go, and we try new things. And, in January, I have three different things I'm going to try to get organized. I was looking at Trello, I was looking at Notion. I was like, how many books I have on pipelines, and it's crazy. All the paper around my desk and names, and so I got on and asked Eric if, we got on, some of you guys joined me in a goal setting workshop he did. And then him and I got on a call, just always being real careful what we present to you guys. And I just think there are so many incredibly power testimonies behind this. And I'm impressed with the consistency. And we have a woman on our team, Eric. She wasn't able to make it today, but her name is Pam Osborne. And she has been using Teamzy. She came into this business, blew my expectations. And she's almost a team leader for us. And I dropped information about Teamzy in the group to these girls the other day, and she's like, "This is why I do what I do." She was like, "This is why I'm basically awesome." She was like, "I'm getting ready to go on vacation, and I'm not going to miss a beat. I'm going to close my circles." And so I've just had too much validation to not bring you on today. And guys, I want you to hear from him. There's no pressure to do this, but I'm going to do it. And so I would love for people to come with me on it. In my game plan, I talked to Eric about this. We're going to help get the people who want to really go 100% at it, improve the model, in a place to develop a little bit of experience and testimony. And then coming out of convention, I feel like you always need something to really boost it. You've got momentum, you've got higher belief. And me and Chrissy Bellison are going to dive in together on a Facebook group that Teamzy is going to support. And they do an excellent job at this. And we're going to do a challenge with it. And a lot of we've dropped a team call on Monday at 12 for the time being. And for me, it's like I'm so ready to help people get in action, not so much training, but like what can we do to take the pendulum forward? And so we're starting with a small group. And if you love this and if we see great success, then I think this is the accountability measure that we can take and re-implement team meetings. And it's something we can all be referencing to actually measure our business and how we're showing up. So with that being said, Eric, guys, he's the creator of it. He's got, and I don't, he has network marketing background. He's a huge success in the industry. So there's a lot of people who create things that have no idea what we do. And he built it because he was doing what we do. And he'll share a little bit of his story, but get into the tactics of what this is. So Eric, thank you so much for showing up today. I'm really excited for the group to get to hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was a really cool introduction. Makes me feel really good. What do you guys think? No, but seriously, um, when Abby and I were talking the other day, she told me, which I would hope from a good leader, that she's careful about what she introduces to the team. And so one of the things that I'll talk about as we get in is that we do a 14-day free trial. So I said, well, let's get some leaders to try it for free because I know what will happen. You guys will love it, and you will tell it. You'll be able to honestly and authentically tell the team, "Hey, I used this for 2 weeks. This is what's happening. It's pretty cool." So that's kind of why I'm here, right? Just so you guys know, there's not going to be a sales pitch or anything here. My background, I've been a business coach and consultant for 26 years. I come from the real estate industry. That's my home industry, teaching people how to build businesses based on systematically creating relationships. When I so many of us stumbled into direct sales, right? When I stumbled into network marketing about 12 years ago, I knew I needed to follow the same systematic approach. The problem was I just didn't have any tools, and at the time, I couldn't afford a full-time assistant. Um, so a full-time assistant, if you can spend 60, 70 grand on a full-time assistant, it'll do the same thing Teamzy does. Or you can just have Teamzy do it for you. And that was the idea. I wanted to create something that would order my day, help me be focused on what I needed to do, which was connecting with the right people, not letting everybody fall through the cracks. So without further ado, and that was we've been around. Teamzy's been around for 10 years, which is awesome. And we have literally grown just from introducing the program to teams like you guys. So it's been in a really wonderful journey for us, and we hope to keep doing it. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you like a brief walkthrough, okay? So you can see it, how it works, and then you guys can try it out. Oops, I shared the wrong. No, I didn't. You guys see Teamzy. Okay. So excuse me. We already have a custom version for Riman, thanks to Christy Belliston. So it's already there. So if you go to teamzy.com to do a free trial, it'll say select your business. You'll scroll down alphabetically and get the correct version. When you first come in, the first thing it's going to ask you to do is set an income goal. Now, this is one of the things that really makes Teamzy work well for people is when you give us your income goal, Teamzy will tell you what your targets need to be daily to hit that goal in a year. Okay. So you can see right here, I've got my goal set at 110K. You can go higher and you'll see that your amount of work goes up, or you can go lower. Okay. And for those of you like me who skip all the text on the page, I will just let you know if you've already got a significant income from your business, your goal will be the extra you want to make. Does that make sense? So if you're making $50,000 a year now and you want to make 100, your goal in Teamzy would be 50. Are you with me? Okay. Great. So let's say I want to just make it an even 100. Great. So now it's telling me that I need to every day. By the way, Teamzy is based on a 250-day year, which means 5 days a week and a vacation and weekends off. You can rest, just like the Lord did, right? Okay. So, but my daily target when I'm doing my power hour is to connect to 6 prospects, 4 customers, and 3 planners on my team. Okay. So, and I'm going to show you guys that's 13. I could probably do that in 20 minutes in Teamzy and be out the door. Okay. It might take you a little longer the first couple of weeks as you're kind of getting a feel for it, but you'll find you get very efficient. So once you've set your goal, the next step is to get some contacts in. Abby and I did this the other day, helped her get some contacts in. One of the things that's super helpful, especially for newer people, is they can sync their Facebook friends up with one click. So they would just click this button using Google Chrome, and it would sync up their Facebook friends and drop them in as contacts in Teamzy so that those contacts could be organized and scheduled and everything else that it does. You can also import CSV files. So that would be how you would do your exports from back office. Or if you have contacts anywhere else, you can also sync up your mobile phone contacts through your phone to Teamzy. So you can get all your contacts. The idea, the first step is to get your contacts in one place organized. Okay. How many of you guys have your contacts in like 12 places, right? So we want them all in one place organized. Okay. I'm going to skip that for now. So when you get to the Teamzy dashboard, let me clear off all these little notifications. You'll see right here where it says today's activities. Those are the circles that you heard Abby referencing. And these are your goals. This is what you would do in a power hour is you would close these circles. And these are based on that annual goal. So we take the annual goal, we make it a daily target. if you want your business to be big, how many of you guys want your business to be big? Your focus must be small. You guys have heard this. I think Brian Tracy is the first one that articulated that one. So we focus only on today. So we've got the first circle. The goal is to connect to 6 prospects. Goal here is to connect with 4 customers. The goal here is to connect with 3 people on the team. If you're new and don't have a team, then you would just take this 3 and add it to prospects, right? If you're brand new, you would take all 13 and add it to prospects, right? This is pretty simple. Okay. So those are just connects. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by connect, but it's just literally messaging somebody to make their day. The 4th circle is shares. You can see my goal is 1 a day. And that's when we actually share a business opportunity or product solution with somebody. Okay. So the goal of connecting is to create opportunities to share. And so if we connect in this example 13 a day, we're hoping that that will reveal at least one opportunity to share. Okay. And then we've got the final circle, which is ads. The goal is to add 1 person a day. That's adding a new contact to Teamzy. So whether you're meeting them in real life, getting introduced, meeting them online, social media, whatever, the goal is to always be adding new relationships to Teamzy. I know some of you guys have tons of contacts, but as you guys know, a fresh new relationship has energy. So we want to constantly be adding those in. Okay. Does that make sense so far? Okay. So when you log in at Teamzy, it's really simple what you need to do. You're just going to close these circles. Now, if you scroll down a little bit here, you see this section called Power Hour. And I know you guys do Power Hour, so you get the concept, right? I wrote a book years ago called Power Hour Boss. The idea of being able to do your whole business building in less than an hour a day. That is the goal. How many of you guys have a life that you want to live? That's what attracts us to this business is the freedom to go live our life, be with our kids, be with our family, do the things we want to do. But we need that focused hour. Okay. So if you look at the Power Hour, it has it has all my contacts already organized for me into the Power Hour. You can see those 3 main groups, prospects, customers, and planners. They're already loaded in there. And then Teamzy will tell me who's up next. We call it the who's up next list. I name everything, by the way, very literally. I learned from my kids. My son's first teddy bear was called Brown Bear. How many of you guys have kids that name things literally, right? So I name things exactly as they are. This is the who's up next list that you use in your Power Hour. In my example, I'm going to start with my prospects. It's my first circle. Nancy Abramson is my first person. She's up next. Okay. So what I would do is my goal is just to message Nancy something simple. Um, and the goal is, again, not to talk about the business necessarily, but just to make her day. And the reason we focus on just making their day is because it starts conversation. It's easy for them to respond to. They don't feel like you're asking anything of them. They'll usually respond. So, for example, if you're not sure how to do that, if you go to scripts right here, we've built in over 100 conversational scripts into Teamzy to help your team figure out how to do this. So if I click on scripts, I would pick, let's say she's a Facebook friend. I would click on Facebook. And then I've got a bunch of things I can choose from. The first one just reads, "Hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day's awesome." Okay, simple little icebreaker messages. Here's another one. You could say, "Hi, Jane, it's been a while since I checked in with you. How are you? Hope all's going great." Super simple. Okay. You guys tracking with me? So if I grab one of these, I'm just going to click on copy script and I like to paste it in Teamzy first so I don't send "Hi, Jane" by accident in Messenger. I've done that. Unless their name's Jane. When that happens, you're like, yes, I don't have to change anything. But I'm going to change it to Nancy. Okay. So now what I would do is I would just copy this, toggle over to Facebook, and I would send the message to Nancy. Okay. And then toggle back to Teamzy. Once I've sent it, and I would just log, I sent a Facebook message. Okay. And so when I log this, let me scroll down a little so you can see the circle. When I log this connect, you can see now I've got one done. My circle's closing. And next up is Christy. Okay. So now when I go to Christy, I'll do the same thing. I'll just send her the same message. Now, if Christy was imported through the Facebook import, when I go to details, it would actually have her Facebook link there. See that? So I could jump right to her Facebook page and send the message. Just makes it a little easier. Okay. So when I send this to Christy, I'm not going to actually send it to her right now because she'll go, she'll respond. I'm doing great, Eric. How are you? Okay, but you get the idea. So as I'm sending these messages, that circle's closing. And the goal is you just work down the list until that circle's closed. Then you go to the next list, which is going to be your customers. By the way, for us, customers are anyone who's ever ordered from you, even if they're not currently a customer. Does that make sense? Because they've trusted you enough to buy something from you. That includes, by the way, if some of you came from another company before Riman, I know that was Abby's experience. Those customers from the past, from the other company, I would still call them customers because they trusted you. You're the reason they bought, not the brand. So just keep that in mind. They have a higher level of trust than a random contact because they've already in the past purchased from you. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with customers. We're just going to reach out to make their day. So if I go to scripts, you'll see some of the same connect scripts are there. So you can do it the exact same way. There's even some that are more specific to customers. Um, Wait, did I click on customers? No, I didn't yet. I'm like, wait, when you click on customers, you get customer scripts. Okay. So there's some things like congratulations on great results. Um, One of the ones I love is, here's this real professional one, which is, hi, John, how are you enjoying the products? Of course, you take out the products and you put in what they're using. Please send me an update. Let me know I could be of help. And my favorite one to send to a customer, especially your favorite ones, is this one. Hi, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. And the idea with checking in with customers is it's not to try to get a new order, but by being present, you do get new orders. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So, for example, I might use that one. Brugina. What a cool name. So we'll pretend I go over to Facebook and message her, or maybe I text her, depending on what kind of contact I have with her, and log it. Okay. So now this circle's filling. When you close the customer circle for the day, you can move over to your team. And the reason we called the company Teamzy is because without building a team, we don't really get very far, right? So we want to make sure we're building relationships intentionally with our team too, checking in on them the same way. Okay, so this will make sure that you don't forget anybody, they don't fall through the cracks. It gives you more personal connection than maybe jumping on group Zooms and things like that. So when you go through your team list, boom, message them, and you've finished the first half of your power hour. Now, real quick before I move on, let me explain how this orders the lists. So if you see right here, my friend Kimunto, she's ranked 5. That's how many stars I've given her. We use a 5-star system. Super simple. We use that for everything in our lives, right? 5 stars. 5-star people are going to come up first. They're the highest priority relationships. They'll be your closest relationships, right? The reason I say they're your closest relationships is because a 5-star person will come back on this list every 30 days. So every 30 days, you'll get a reminder to reach out to them. If they're not close, they're going to think you're weird that you message them that often. Does that make sense? Okay. 4-star people, you can see Joanne's a 4-star. That means she comes up every 60 days and they won't show up at all until I've messaged all my 5-star people. So then when I get into my 4s, they cycle at 60 days, and 3 stars, which will be the vast majority of your list, they're every 90 days. Does that make sense? And then 2 stars, it goes even farther out, 120 days. And then if you give somebody a 1-star, they're in Teamzy. You can use their contact, you can look it up, you can keep records on it, but they won't show up in your power hour. They're low priority people that you're not trying to personally connect with. Are you with me? So we use that simple ranking system to order those. And then once you've done that, Teamzy will create your power hour every single day. It keeps track of who's up next, who you haven't contacted, and cycles them through. Okay. You can also change as you go. So if you don't like the way you ordered it before, like Kamuta should be a 4, not a 5, I can do it real time right here without messaging her, and it just deprioritizes her down the list. Does that make sense? Okay. I can also say, oh, I don't need her at all. I'm just going to delete her, and it'll delete her. Okay. So you can clean it up as you go if you see there's some junk data or something in there or somebody you don't want to talk to. Okay. So the first half of the power hour is just closing these circles, just sending a message out to make contact, the goal being to create a conversation. When they reply to the conversation, Now now you're chit-chatting. You've created a conversation. Thanks for reaching out, Eric. We're doing great. So your goal now is to have a conversation with them as if you're in person, right? So, Christy, how have you been? What have you been up to lately? Send me an update. What's going on with you guys? Whatever it is. How are your holidays? Have a normal conversation. The idea is with the more conversations you have, the more opportunities you will have to uncover needs and wants, pain points that you might be able to help with. Does this make sense? And so it's an easy way for you to have lots of conversations, getting to know lots of people. Even if the conversation doesn't get anywhere near to talking about Riemann, you've invested in the relationship. It's warmer. And when they come up again on Teamzy in the future, you'll pick up where you left off. Are you with me? Okay. So you get the idea there. So we've created these conversations. Now, one little tip is when people start responding immediately, and some will, don't jump into the conversation until you finish all of your power hour actions, or you'll get sidetracked and you won't message hardly anybody. So let them sit there for 10 minutes while you finish sending all your messages before you start responding. All right. Okay. So the first half of our power hour is the first three circles, just connecting prospects, customers, and planners. By the way, prospects I define as everybody you know that's not a customer or planner. Pretty simple, right? Everybody who has skin, everyone who has skin you can help. Everyone who needs money, that's everybody, right? Everyone who needs freedom, that's the other half. The second half of the power hour is doing any follow-ups that are due. So you see this follow-ups list, the fourth list here. You can see I have a notification, meaning there's a follow-up due today. If I toggle over there, you'll see it's late because this isn't a real account. This is a demo account, but um, I'm supposed to follow up with Christy Malone. Okay. So let me show you how this works, how you put people on the follow-ups list. So in our example, I messaged, you guys all know who Christy is, so I'll use her as an example. I messaged Christy, she responds, and we're chit-chatting. And let's say we actually end up having a real conversation about Riemann. She's interested. Well, I need to now put her on my follow-ups list. If we had a chit-chat about Christmas and it fizzled out, I don't need to put her on my follow-ups list. She's going to cycle back based on her star ranking, and I'll talk to her then. But if there's some interest, now I need a follow-up. Are you with me? So what I would do is, since I've already logged her and she's disappeared off of my dashboard, I would then go up to my search bar and I would just look her up. Got a lot of Christies. There she is. Okay. So that brings me to her contact record in Teamzy. And you can actually see all of our interactions, all of our contact details are there. Any notes I've kept about her are there. Okay. So what I'm going to do with Christy, since we now had a conversation where I had an opportunity to share with her and I need to set a follow-up, is I'm going to log the share and set the follow-up. So I would just click on connect to open the connect box. Okay. And then let's say we had a Zoom. So I would link that as a video chat. I would put notes here from our Zoom. And then I'm going to click on share on the bottom because I want to log that it was a share on the Zoom. So I'm going to click on share. What type of share was it? Okay, it was a business opportunity share. Great. Boom. And then you can see now it's automatic. This little calendar is my follow-up and it automatically defaults to 2 days because we don't want you to accidentally not set one if you do a share. But 2 days is too long for me. I would always follow up the next day. So I'm going to set it for tomorrow. And when I log this, you can see in the feed, there's a logged that there was a share of a business opportunity and a follow-up set for tomorrow. If I go back to my dashboard, you'll notice that that share circle closed. So I got my share in now. And if I go to my follow-ups list, you can see that Christy is now set for a follow-up tomorrow. So tomorrow when I do my power hour, I'm going to connect with prospects, customers, planners. I'm going to go to my follow-ups and see what's due. Okay. I'll see that I have one due with Christy. So I'll click on that and I'm going to send her a follow-up. Now, this is where a lot of people miss out on opportunity because I'm sure since I'm talking to the leaders, you guys know the fortunes in the follow-up. How many times have you heard that? But here's a statistic you may not know, you may. So if you do, forgive me for repeating it, but we need to be reminded more than taught anyways. But 80% of all sales occur between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Have you guys heard that? Yeah, a couple of you have. And I would say it's very rare for me to find somebody in this industry who follows up consistently 7 to 10 times. The only people I know who do it literally are using Teamzy. And I'm not saying that to, you know, just to flex on Teamzy, but it's because they need a system to help them not let people fall through the cracks. So, how do we do this? First, the first thing that I have found is people don't want to follow up 7 to 10 times because they're worried about being annoying. So what we've done is we've built 10 follow-up scripts into Teamzy. They're numbered in order, so you really don't have to do any thinking. And they're designed to be helpful and not annoying. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I opened up the scripts. We're messaging her on Facebook, so I'll grab my Facebook, and you'll see some of these are labeled follow-up 1, follow-up 2, follow-up 3. Okay, does this make sense? So I'll grab follow-up 1, and it says this: Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Okay, so I can copy that script and I will go message it to her. And then when I log it here, by the way, you don't have to log the message verbatim in Teamzy if you don't want to. Some people just wrote messaged, right? DM'd, just so that you log it and you track it. Okay. Because I know those messages are saved in your other messages. But I would just do the same thing, change the name, send her that message. And then when I log this, you guys watch what happens. Teamzy's going to say, hey, did that complete the scheduled follow-up for her? And since it did, I'm going to leave it checked, but I'm going to add another follow-up. Okay, so now let's say I'm going to follow up again on Thursday. You can leave yourself a note what it's about. FU2 is my shorthand for follow-up number 2, just in case you're wondering. Okay. So when I complete this, now when I go to her activity, I can see there's a new, oh wait, I'm on Christy. When I go to her activity, I can see there's a new follow-up. Number 2 is now scheduled for January 15th. Okay. So when I'm on my dashboard and I go to my follow-ups on January 15th and I want to connect with her, I do the same thing. I'll go into my scripts. I get follow-up number 2. See, I don't even have to think about where she is in the process because my note told me send follow-up number 2. So I'll send follow-up number 2. Okay. Change the name, making sure you got my email or message. It was a message in this case. Teamzy is able to send Gmail directly. However, if you have a phone number or you're connected on social media, it's always better to message that way than to email, as you guys know, because people don't see their emails a lot of times. Okay, so when I log this, it'll be the same thing. Yes, it was my follow-up, add another one. Okay, now I'm going to follow up next Monday. Great. I'll send myself a note. You can write anything in the note you want, create and complete. And now I'm on follow-up number 3 with her. So your power hours every day, you literally just log in. It'll tell you who to message next. You send your make someone's day messages, then you do your follow-ups. Then in the rest of your power hour time, you go in and you go through your messages, your unread messages, and you respond to everybody, right? And you just bang them out. One thing I do recommend is that people set aside a couple of times a day to answer messages so that you're not a slave to your phone all day long answering messages, right? So set a couple of times where you respond to messages. For those of you who have jobs, like where you actually have to go do a 9 to 5 somewhere, that helps structure your day actually as you're building because you can answer messages in the morning, you can answer them at lunch, you can answer them in the evening, right? It helps. If you're at home all the time and you've set your own schedule, it's hard not to jump on them all day long. But I will tell you guys that the idea of Teamzy is to give you peace, not steal it. So those little disciplines will really help you on your priority management. So that's how simple it is. Now, the idea here is you're creating conversations every day. There's four, I'll stop my share for just a quick second. There's really 4 actions that get a business into momentum, right? This is especially true of network marketing, which is a relationship-driven business, but it's really true in any business. The first action is creating conversations. So you're not going to have opportunities if you're not talking to people. So this helps you create the conversations. The second thing is developing those conversations, getting deeper with people, talking to people, learning about them, looking for wants and needs, right? Adding value to them. And I always say, hey, if you can help them in any way, even if it has nothing to do with your business, you should be doing that. That's how you add value to the relationships, right? Um, I was, uh, I don't know if I told you this story the other day, Abby, but when I was reaching out to leaders to invite them to my goal planning session, one of them responded that she needed prayer. She was going through something difficult. So there's an example. It's like she needed prayer. Does that have anything to do with Teamzy? No, that has to do with our relationship. Does that make sense? So whatever comes up in the conversation where you can help, help, right? If somebody's like, I would love to talk to you, but my leak is roofing. My leak is roofing. My roof is leaking because of the big storm we just had or something, and you happen to know a good roofing contractor, let them know, hey, I know a great roofing contractor. Would you like their contact information? So look for ways to help. So the second thing is adding value to the conversation that you've started, okay? And moving those conversations towards the opportunity to share. Okay. And sometimes it may take multiple conversations. Sometimes it happens on the first conversation. The third thing that you need to be doing consistently is sharing your product solution, sharing the business with people, right? And then the fourth thing that you need to be doing consistently is following up on interest. Following up on interest. It's really that simple. Four things. You guys can see we built the Teamzy dashboard to help people do it. They don't even have to understand that to do it. And I learned this from a good friend of mine who owns Chick-fil-A French restaurants. Have you guys ever been to Chick-fil-A? All right, you can admit it. I know you're healthy people, but you've been to Chick-fil-A, right? The thing that's really, I mean, there's lots of chain stores that do a good job of being consistent, but I think that one probably does it the best. I mean, no matter where you are in the country, they're super friendly and nice, right? And everything's always, the thing is they have systems that they replicate and they teach, right? So it's like you just follow the system, you follow the prompts, and then you have a great result. And the same thing is true building a team. You need something that's simple, that's easy to duplicate, that they can figure out without even having to understand the philosophies behind it. It's like, here's what you do, message, boom, have a great conversation, help people, share the business, follow up. You don't know who to follow up with today. You don't have to think about it. Teamzy will tell you, this is who you're supposed to follow up with today. Just do it, right? And then you're done. Here's the best part about it, and this is what I get a lot from people is they say, my favorite part about Teamzy is that when I'm done, I'm done. I know that I've done what I need to do in my business today, and I can feel good about the focus I put into it, and I can go about the rest of my life, right? And that's the hardest when you're trying to create momentum is because you think, well, I don't have the checks coming in yet, so I don't have the momentum. Maybe I should just keep working. But the truth is that when you do the right activities, you always get the momentum. The momentum is in the consistency of doing the activity. And when you get there, when you get in the consistency, you have results. This is why we do a 14-day free trial and why, as we're for teams, we do a 14-day challenge because we know that if we can create an environment where people will actually do it for 2 weeks, they will see results. And from the perspective of me wanting people to sign up and subscribe to Teamzy, I know that if people see results in 2 weeks, they're going to want to keep using it. Does that make sense? So I try to create that win-win environment. It's like, hey, let's create an environment where people will actually use it, get the results, and everyone's happy. I'm happy and they're happy, and we can work together. So that's kind of the quick overview of how the main system works. Now, there's a lot of things we can drill into. I'm going to show you one other function real quick and then open it for questions because you'll probably ask me questions, which will bring me to show you other things. But there's one more thing I want to show you, and that's this team report right here. Do you guys see that right there? The team report allows you to, the first time you come in, you just need to say, oh, yeah, I see the team report. Great. Get started. This allows you to see your team and what they're doing in their Teamzy. So when you first log in, it'll just be you. So this is me, and it'll show you what I did today. I can toggle through any period in the past, yesterday, this week, last month, or a custom date range, which is a great way to do leaderboards and things like that. Or if you're doing coaching sessions with people on your team, you can pull this up as you're talking to them. When they say, oh man, Christy, I don't know what's going on. No, nobody's doing anything, nothing's happening. And you go, well, you haven't logged anything in 3 weeks. What are you doing? Right? Or you can say, hey, I see that you're doing you log 60 connects this month, which is awesome, but there's no shares logged. Are you not logging those or are you not sharing with people? So it gives you a tool to coach with. So the way this works is you've got a link right here. So if you do this link, You copy this link, and when you share it with your team members, when they click it, it will give your Teamzy permission to see their activities from their Teamzy. Okay, they can remove it anytime from their account if they don't want to keep you on there, or you can remove it. And if they don't, if you send somebody that link and they don't have Teamzy, it will ask them to start a free trial, and it will link it. Okay, so that team report is going to be a killer tool for you guys with your team members, especially as you bring new people in, because we built Teamzy. I'll say one more thing, and then we'll do questions. We built Teamzy for leaders to help get their life organized and be more efficient, and for brand new people who are starting from scratch. Right? It's really accessible to both. So if you have a brand new person coming in, you know, in a perfect world, my perfect world, you'd say, okay, we use Teamzy. It's free for 14 days. Here's what I want you to do. Start an account and start using it. And in a week or two, you and I will have a check-in call. I'm going to pull up my team report and see how you're doing, right? And if it's all zeros, then you can have a conversation like, well, I see you haven't done anything with this. Um, are you are you committed to building this business? Do you just want a discount on that? Tell me where you're at so that I can allocate my time and focus on the people who really want to build. Are you guys with me? So it's a great way to get people started and also to kind of see how committed they are to actually doing something, because this is pretty easy to do. It's not like they have to face rejection doing it this way. Does that make sense? Okay. So I just wanted to show you that. So I will stop talking and let you guys ask questions. Um, just feel free to unmute and ask away.
Can I ask a couple questions? Because I have to run to drive school
Yes.
bus. I was trying to download my CSV file and it said it couldn't. Did I save it wrong?
You tried to put it into Teamzy and it wouldn't take it?
Yeah.
She got the same file that I had, so it will be the same situation for everyone where
Okay.
we had to convert it.
So so what you guys get from Riman is an Excel sheet format, and you need to open that sheet up and save as CSV. Did you do that already, Christy, on yours?
Yeah, because it asked me, like I actually typed .csv and it asked if I'm sure I wanted to save as that, and I said yes. And then when I go to download it, I think it did say something about the heading.
Okay.
So is it maybe because the first heading in there is their customer number and not actually their names? Or no?
I, it may be, I know with Abby's, she saved it as CSV, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Like it didn't save. And so she actually ended up uploading what she thought was CSV, and it was an XSLX file. But I have a note, Christy, if it's okay with you, I can have my team pull it from the back end and fix it and put it in for you.
Okay.
One thing that we had to do with Abby's was the report had her customers and planners on the same report.
Yes.
So
But
if
is
you're
that hard to fix? Because like me personally, I only have, say, four planners. So,
right, so if you
so
only
I,
have four planners, then you just put them in as customers, and then
yeah.
you go to those four planners and just click planner on them and just
Okay.
move them
Yeah. I'm
over.
familiar with Teamzy. Like we used to use it in our old company. So
Okay, great.
the thing when I joined today, though, is it already said my email was taken, so I didn't sign up as Remon. How do I get that done?
Oh, so you reignited your old
No,
account?
there's nobody in there that I could see. It's just like a blank
Oh, but you did log into it, so you just need to be
Teamzy.
switched. Okay,
Yes.
I can do that right now.
Okay.
Let me stop the share and I'll do it. I also have a note to just go in and we can just clean up that import file for you. You don't even need to worry about it. If you already
Okay.
attempted to, so what Teamzy does is when you attempt to upload a file, even if it won't take it, it keeps it in your database on your account. So we can actually pull it down and clean it up.
Okay.
Okay, let me just go in here. Wait, I'm in the wrong account. Can't be in my Rumon account because it doesn't control everything. So if
And
you
I
guys are if you guys are in an older version of Teamzy because you used it before, it's super easy for us to switch you to Remon. Okay, so I'm gonna do it right now, real time.
Yeah, there's a step-by-step video on how to do this once you get in it, Lori.
Oh, there's two S's. I missed that.
Yeah, it was super easy. It just wouldn't take my file.
Okay. There was something on the file that was some sort of security
Yeah.
thing, like that Ramon had put on it. But when I pulled it from Teamzy, it must have sanitized it of that. I was able to mess with it when we did it live. So you are now in the Ramon version.
Okay.
Okay. So that's done. You may have to log out and log back in, but you're in that version. Okay. So you're good to go on that. And I have a note. Let me make sure I put the second S so I don't um to play with to get your files cleaned up for you. It won't take long. We'll get that done for you.
Okay. I'll do that tonight. Yeah, I'm just like Pam. I actually used to really rock Teamzy, and then I just yeah, and then I
That's
stopped. And
Hey,
now
that happens. That's called being a human being, but I'm glad to
yeah.
have you back. Okay, so going back real quick to Google Chrome for those of you guys who aren't as good at this or used to it. Once you get your contacts in, you click on rank contacts right here on the left, and it will take you to the team page, which has all your contacts. So just to clarify, when we say team, everyone's on your team, right? All your prospects, everyone's on your team. So this has everybody. And rank mode will toggle rank mode automatically so that you can go down and rank people just by clicking on them. Okay, that'll change their ranks. Type mode, which is um, what Christy's going to need, will allow you to go through and go, oh, okay, this person is, in your case, it'll say planner because I'm in my admin one. So, but you would just move them over like that. Or if you're just on a particular person's record, you'll see right here is the member type and you can change it just by clicking it. So for example, a prospect who purchases and becomes a customer, after you log the sale, you're going to click customer and they're going to now be in that group. Make sense? Okay. What other questions do you guys have?
I want to mention, because I know I have, a couple women here that are really heavy on Instagram, and I know you can import Instagram contacts, but
Yeah.
each day you can also manually put in, like if you're selectively targeting people that you're starting conversations with, you can go put them in. You don't even need to transport something. The other thing while she's here, I would just love for Pam, you to just share a short blip because you're the one who was like, oh my gosh, she's been using it. So love to hear. I'll ask you to unmute just from you a little testimony.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you,
I
Christy.
I also, Eric, would need to be switched over to Ramon
Okay.
because mine is on my old one. But I've been using Teamzy for probably, I'm gonna say 3 years. And the way I use it is every conversation that I have, whether it's in Facebook Messenger, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, I go at the end of the night or at the end of the day, I go through my messenger and I log everything. I record everything and then I add a follow-up. And if they purchase, I put their sales in there. I put what colors they use so that I always have that information. And I have so many customers that are like, how do you stay on top of this? Like, how do you know when to message me? And I'm like, it's because I use this tool. Um, and then, like you said, when you sit down at your desk, you know exactly who you have to have a conversation with that day. It just makes it so much easier. You're not like, okay, who do I message today? Who do I follow up with today? And then people don't fall through the cracks because I mean, I have three businesses right now. I'm not young. I forget shit. But this keeps me right on track. And it's like I just sit down, I see who I have to follow up with. If someone messages me, hey, can I have that same concealer that I got last time? I'm like, sure. And they go, how do you know the color? I'm like, I just go to Teamzy and see what color it was that you chose. So I love this tool. Honestly, it's changed my business big time. And I wasn't being consistent with it, but you can always catch up. If you're not consistent with it for a month, get back into it. But it really is a really great tool for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're switched over now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So my biggest concern, I have thousands of contacts. Like the thought of trying to import them and rate them and get everybody where they need to be, like, makes me want to just crawl in a hole and die. That's
Yeah.
so I don't know, like,
So what I would do is maybe you have a strategy like Abby did, which is she brought over her customers and her team, and then she's adding a handful each day as she goes from social media. So, which is totally fine. There's an add contact button at the top of the screen where you can add one person in. So if you're on, I don't know where you're most active, but let's say you're active on Instagram. If you're talking to four or five people today on Instagram, you can add them to Teamzy and log it so that you don't forget about them, and now they're in a cycle of connection. So you can put it in piece at a time as far as on your prospects list without doing the full imports. I think for somebody who's brand new, like let's say somebody started the business today and they have a maxed out Facebook, 5,000 friends. For that person, I'd say import them. Man, you got to start somewhere. Like you've got to start talking to people. But if you've already got a business that's going, we don't want to add overwhelm on top. So you could just do a piece at a chunk at a time. I know I had people that were doing like, I'm going to add five a day from people I'm talking to on social media and then start building from there. So you can do that for sure too. Does that make sense?
And Lori, I emailed our Go High Level guys and I said, can you send me a CSV file of everybody who's ordered and everybody who's taken the quiz? And they had it to me in 5 minutes. So they'll play nice with this too.
That's cool. That's cool. The truth is this, which is, and I didn't get deep into it, if I'm given the opportunity to present this to the whole team, I will talk a little bit more about it. But people don't realize the incredible value in the past customer or current customer list. Just reaching out and connecting. We find that when you do that, when you're consistently in touch with customers, which is very hard to do normally, um, people will increase their average order on average. So they go from one product to two products to three products, right? Over time, they add to their order, which is a volume increaser. They tend to they retain longer or stickier, right? Because of the relationship. And they tend to introduce more people to you when you're more in contact. I mean, if you think about just a great restaurant, like if you go to a great restaurant with excellent service, the the servers are not annoying, but they're present. Like, have you guys ever been somewhere and you wanted something like another drink or something and they're nowhere to be found? And it's like, oh, I'd like another drink. Where are they? Okay, well, I'll give them a minute. And then if enough time passes, you get extremely annoyed that they're not around. So it's about being present. When you're present, people buy more, they order more, they're happier. In the example of the restaurant, you're ready to buy another drink. You're ready to give the company more business, happily so. And if you could do it quickly, you would enjoy the process of spending that money and have a better time with your dinner. It's the same thing with any business. People don't mind buying more. They just want to have a great experience. They want to know that they're getting great value. And the 90% of the value is the relationship with you. So this just makes it easy to check in on people. They come up, boom, send them a message, and they're like, So one thing that I will say this, I will call the shot, which is if and when we do a 2-week challenge with the whole team, well, you guys will see it with your businesses, just trying it out over the next couple of weeks, is you will see an increase in volume because you're intentionally reconnecting with customers. So that will just happen just by touching them. So when you see a team-wide 2-week process where everybody's messaging 4 or 5 customers a day, you're going to see an increase in volume that nobody was expecting, just from being there, being present with them, if that makes sense. Okay, Lori, so you don't need to crawl under a rock and die. You're going to be okay.
I don't know. I mean, I have like 6,000 people in my system, so I'm like,
What, Lori, too, what if you just even used this for prospecting in the beginning and keeping, planners? My thing, and I told him, I'm like, I'm targeting who I bring on my team right now. I didn't want where I'm at to upload a ton of names that I wouldn't even want to go recruit. So I'm going to just be very deliberate on who I'm putting in there every day. But I think even the bigger picture for you is that we now have something tangible to coach people with. They come in the business, they don't
Yeah.
have success. Why? We have no accountability measure.
Mm-mm.
I don't know who they've talked to. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, but you want me to help you get to team leader, or you don't feel like you've been helped. I can look and see, are you even having conversations? Are you even helping yourself? There's no place to coach people if we
Right.
can't see their effort. I can coach someone on how they're connecting with people if I see they've had 10 connections and got nothing out of it. But if they're not even driving you can't coach, you park car. So I
Yeah.
think it is about us, but it's also about a tool to support that 80% to get in action and start talking.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Lori, I once talked to a leader. She said to me, Eric, I have 9,000 past customers. And I said, awesome. That is such an awesome problem. I said,
Mhm.
why don't you get a VA to contact them? She said, that's a great idea. I go, 9,000, that's a lot. Like, yeah. So that's what that particular leader, she gave that list. She had them logging into her Teamzy, just doing the customer list, just checking in.
just the customers.
And
Yeah.
and you can do that a couple ways. You can have them impersonate you, or you can just say, I used to work for this guy, Brian Buffini. He was my mentor for many years. He owned the consulting company I worked at. And I used to call people and say, hey, it's Eric Johnson from calling on behalf of Brian Buffini. Nobody batted an eye at that, right? Brian asked me to check in on you. How's everything going? So anyways, in those situations, I'm not saying that's right for you. I don't know your situation, but that can, when you get to a level where your business has grown, how many of you guys would love to look forward to that day? When you get to a level where you have so many people and relationship in your business, then that's what a business does, is it gets help with that. Does that make sense? So the most important thing is this, though. This is the most important concept. It's all about personal connection. You can never automate personal connection. That's the thing. It's like that's the thing our industry tries to do, is they try to automate personal connection, and it's spam. So it's got to be personal connection. If your relationship list is too big for you to personally connect, somebody else on your team has to personally connect, but it still needs to be personal connections. That's what moves the needle in our business, and quite frankly, in most businesses, because you guys know the difference on your incoming messages and emails and things, what's personal and what's not, right? So my email actually tells me this is from a person, this is a marketing email, right? So it like pushes them to the side. Yours probably does the same thing. What other questions do you guys have?
I have a question. Is there a way to log people in there that say their country isn't opened yet? Like I have a ton in TikTok and they're just everywhere. I'd have to go through tons of messages so that when they're not even on the expansion list, but when they open,
Yeah.
there's the easy way to message them.
Yeah, there's tags. You could add tags to the record, and that's exactly what Pam was talking about. She uses tags to label the products they use and the colors and things like that. So the tags, as you add, so you could tag this person from Italy, this whatever. What happens with the tag is when you look at their record, you see all their tags. That's all the information you wanted to remember about them. But each one of those tags creates a group that you can search. So if you tag 10 people Italy, you click on the Italy tag, it's going to give you that list of people. Does that make sense? So the tags is how you're going to sort, in addition to the main three groups that we carve them into. Then you sort with tags. So, and anything can be a tag. I would tag, like, for example, me personally, I tagged veterans, and then on Veterans Day, I hit the list, and I sent a private message to every veteran on my list. Happy Veterans Day. Same thing with mothers. So you guys, that might be your whole list. So you might want to not want to do Mother's Day, but like you think about ways to build the relationships with your lists and to serve your customers. So does that make sense, Christy? Yeah. So you just tag them, tag them by the country, tag them by the region, however you want. You can use tags. I actually do a full training. The video is in the Teamzy Help Center on using tags, and I suggest different ways that people use the tags. If you are sometimes people will be prospecting on Instagram. I talk about this in the training. They don't know if they want them permanently as a contact, but they put them in Instagram, Instagram lead, and then then they work the Instagram lead list separately from their power hour, and then they can take the tag off and let them be a contact or delete them when they're done. There's lots of things you can do. We used to do virtual events. I don't know if you guys do virtual events, but if I invited people to a virtual event, I would tag invited to the virtual event, and then I would tag them attended the virtual event, so then I could pull the list later and see who was invited, who came. So you can use tags to keep track of just about any kind of information that you want to be able to pull a group on later.
Yeah, these girls have an opportunity every Tuesday night. We have an opportunity overview. Every Thursday night, we have a master class to invite customers on. So it's like, but I know it's the follow through that people are doing, and they're not accountable to inviting. There's, you know, so I just think with the system we have, this is going to help everybody get very organized and sniper. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing is like, I would even tell somebody, look, if you can't get somebody every week, then just say, I'm going to fill week 2 every month. And then you spend all your energy filling that event, whatever's more doable. I know for me, I filled a once a month, and it was like next month's group. You're going to be in next month's group. Boom, it started. Now you're in next month's group, so, but being able to keep track of that and say, okay, I invited, Sharon 3 times so far, and she's still interested, but hasn't been able to make it. So then, so that just having that information at my fingertips helps. And also making sure that if they did attend, that you're following up, because that's somebody now that's going to take 7 to 10 follow-ups, right? So making sure that you're getting in there who attended, are they on my follow-ups list? Am I proceeding professionally in the follow-up?
Yeah. I believe this is going to equip you guys as leaders in coaching people, because this whole program is designed to do everything we're supposed to do every day. And your newest new person comes in and they don't know they're supposed to keep following up. They don't know how to get in a conversation with somebody. And so I think you're taking away a lot of your stress in coaching by putting them in a system that's keeping them accountable for the activities that we know it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
So,
We find that in this industry, about 10% are builders, right? That probably holds true to your teams. But I've always believed that number could be closer to 30% with help and a system. So imagine if you could triple the amount of your team that are builders. That's really what we're looking to do. And the truth is, though, and Abby and I talked about this, there's a lot of people who just want a nice part-time income, and this is still helping them, will still help them manage that. It's very affordable. Just so you guys know, we haven't talked about the price of Teamzy, but our normal price is $30 a month, which is, even just a part-time income, it's very affordable. But we do have a special rate right now for Ramon that people can lock in for life. So it's $19.95 a month. Usually we only offer that price when we have a corporate sponsorship, but we just did it because you guys are cool. And Christy was so nice and negotiated that quickly and easily. So for you guys, Christy Belliston. But so $19.95 a month after the free time, it's very affordable. If they get 1 or 2 things out of it a month, it's paid for. That's the idea, is that it's very, very affordable for people. It's not a major investment, especially if they're going to use it. And that's even less if people go annually. Some people will buy it a year at a time, and they'll save even more.
okay, we are at the top of the hour. I think going forward, Eric, um, do you think I should create a little separate Facebook group at this point that will relaunch after convention, but just support for them to have us all in one place? Or how would you suggest? I just want to make sure the contacts are getting imported and they have support with that too.
Yeah, that's fine. And you can add me to that group. I'd highly recommend that you guys partner up as success partners.
Mhm.
and hold each other accountable. And this is what we will do with the team once you guys are excited about it and want to do that. I don't want to get ahead of my skis, but you know what I mean. Partner should message each other daily, just a message, text, message, whatever, something simple that says, did my Teamzy, here's my screenshot. That's it. And I
Yeah.
mean, you can support each other more if you need to. That's the minimum. Just did my Teamzy, here's my screenshot. Because I will tell you, there is very few things more annoying and more convicting than that to make you do it. So if you're competitive, it'll make you want to jump and do it. If you're not competitive, but you're driven by relationship, you don't want to let your partner down. Every human motivation is built into that. When you get that message from your partner, I did mine, did you do yours? It will push you to do it. And that's the idea is that you guys use these couple weeks of the free trial to really use it so that you can make a good evaluation of it for yourselves and for your teams. So your action step is go to teamzy.com. It's the word team, Z-Y, teamzy.com. Click on start free trial and then make sure you select Riemann from the drop down when you start your free trial. Okay. And if you guys need more time, just message me and I can extend it for you. Okay. So don't worry about that.
Okay.
But because you start it today and the next 2 days are insane. And you're like, well, I didn't even start it until day 4 or whatever. I don't care. I'll restart it for you. No big deal. Don't worry about that. But just get in there and do it. If you run into trouble, ask for help. We have a great support team. Or if you're going to put me in the group, I can help you guys too. So I'm happy to do that.
Message me and say, I'm going to do this. And I actually might just form in the beginning a little support WhatsApp chat for us to make it really simple. So just shoot me a message. Okay. All right, Eric, thank you so much. Really
My
appreciate your
pleasure.
time today. Thanks, ladies.
My pleasure.
All
Have a
right.
great day, everyone.
Okay.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon.